Grateful you could stay with us. I am Pious Kojo Backah. To our very first story. Government has indicated that it has been able to secure about 60% participation in the domestic debt exchange program. This is what Joy Business has picked up from persons with knowledge of the offer. There is more in this report. On results we've picked up last night, February 7, 2023, according to persons working on the offer, government could hit the 80% target come Friday. This is because some of the institutional investors were in the process of submitting their documents as of last night, and this could impact on the subscription numbers by the end of the week. According to government, it has witnessed high participation by all the major commercial banks, insurance firms, institutional bondholders, and even individual bondholders. Joy Business is learning that, as of last night, it was only 2 of the major banks that had written for an extension to finalize their process today in terms of submitting their documents. The Ministry of Finance is also rejecting reports that it was forced to grant a 3-day administrative window for bondholders under the program because it was struggling to get the required participation. However, sources say the program will not include pension funds. Government has in the meantime indicated it will announce the results of the domestic debt exchange program on Monday, February 13. However, settlement will be done on Valentine's Day, that is 14 February 2023. Joy Business is also learning that closing the deal next week might help government in its quest to meet the first quarter ending target for securing an IMF board approval for Ghana's economic program. Now, the Ghana Revenue Authority is advising multinational companies contesting the imposition of the back tax penalties to use internal systems designed to address the issues of tax dispute. Now, the authority in a recent exercise imposed back tax penalties on MTN, Tallow, Goldfields, Cosmos Energy. Now, the companies have all indicated their positions to contest the claims by the GRA. But answering some questions sent to the GRA by Joy Business, the authority said the companies have the right under the GRA law to object to the tax imposition, after which the GRA will determine the case in 30 days. Now, if not satisfied, the authority insists the companies can appeal to the Independent Tax Appeals Board after making 30% payment of the surcharged back tax. Now, the export of cocoa will rake in $4.1 billion in 2025. That's according to the Minister for Information, Kojo Backah. According to him, revenue from cocoa production has been on an upward trajectory since 2019, hence the optimism that the industry would grow some more. At the launch of the 2023 National Chocolate Week, Mr. Backah further indicated that revenue gained from the cocoa sector plays a critical role in the economy by stabilizing the city.
The National Chocolate Day celebration was instituted in 2005 to coincide with Valentine's Day, which falls on 14th February every year, to boost the domestic consumption of Ghana chocolate and other cocoa-based products, promote domestic tourism, and give a healthy orientation to the celebration of Valentine's Day. Chocolate Day celebration was extended into a full-week celebration dubbed Chocolate Week in 2022. Speaking at this year's launch of the National Chocolate Week, the Minister for Information, Kojo Backah, expressed optimism about cocoa raking in more revenue through this project.
On the average, we are producing about 700 metric tons of cocoa per year since 2012. And it's estimated that the contribution of cocoa to Ghana's GDP will rise to about $4.1 billion by 2025. Cocoa is the 3rd largest foreign exchange earner for the country after gold and crude oil. And revenues from the industry have been on the upward trajectory since 2019. Specifically in 2019, we earned about $2.2 billion, $2.3 billion in 2020, $2.8 billion in 2021, and we're hoping to grow some more. So you agree with me that the cocoa industry is playing a significant role in stabilizing the local currency, among many other things.
Deputy Chief Executive of Ghana Cocoa Board, Emmanuel Ray Ankra, called for a holistic approach to scrap the 35% tax imposed on cocoa processing companies. According to him, this is a disincentive to startups.
We have realized that some current tax regimes are affecting efforts to get more entrepreneurs into the cocoa processing and value addition, especially those who are into small-scale cocoa manufacturing or cocoa processing. And so in order to overcome this challenge, we have initiated discussions at Ghana Cocoa Board with relevant state agencies to review and have a look at a holistic approach to the tax regime insofar as it affects artisanal chocolate manufacturers or processors, with a view of either reducing the taxes, the impact or the burden of tax as a way of cushioning them to increase more production and make them more competitive.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture pledged its continuous support to the National Chocolate Week celebration. Here is its Deputy Minister, Mark Okweku-Mante.
We have managed to establish a high degree of association between tourism and cocoa-based products, one of which is chocolate, and positioned it as a veritable component of the Ghana tourism experience. The socio-economic benefits of increased local consumption of chocolate are many, and the Ministry of Tourism will continue to actively support the National Chocolate Week celebration.
This year's National Chocolate Week celebration is themed Eat Cocoa, Stay Healthy, and Grow Ghana.
This is still Business Life with me, Pious Kojo Backah. Now, Grohi is a leading global brand for bathroom, sanitary and kitchen products and accessories. Now, in November 2021, under the Grohi Installer Vocational Training and Education, that's GIVE initiative, Grohi established a state-of-the-art facility in Accra to train plumbers and installers of its products to address the shortfall of skilled practitioners in the industry. Well, the facility is based at the Accra Technical Training Center and was set up in collaboration with the German Chamber of Commerce and other partners. Joining me in studio for more is leader of the GIVE initiative, Chris Penny. And Chris, grateful you could join us on Business Live. Now, first off, tell me the background to the GIVE initiative and why so?
Okay, so the GIVE program is something that we set up in April 2020. It stands for Grower Installer Vocational Training and Education. And we aim to train young plumbing students on how to become plumbers and, more importantly, how to work with our fantastic products.
What exactly goes into GIVE program?
So we would build a training rack within an existing plumbing school, which we've collaborated with, so ATTC in Ghana. And then we would install that training rack, which has full functioning working water, and we would teach all the students how to install and maintain our products. Okay. They have to do practical exams, and they also have to do written examinations as well to pass the course.
How much is the cost when you're talking about the training program?
How much does it cost?
Yeah.
It's free, completely free.
Oh, certainly is it?
It's absolutely free to anybody that wants to enroll on a plumbing course at ATTC in Accra.
All right, so give us the processes to enroll if really I want to join.
So you would have to speak to the school if you wanted to join the program. So you'd have to enroll on a plumbing course. So we're looking for younger generation of people. There's no age limit, but obviously the younger people would be more suited, I think, to this program at this type of school. So they would need to enroll on an existing plumbing course within the school, and then they could then do the GIVE program training course.
Are you focusing only on Accra, or you'll be looking at other areas within the country?
So we have other schools across Northwest Africa. We have a school in Morocco, we have a school in Nigeria. We are looking to open a school in Cameroon and in Benin. They're both going to be with charitable organisations. One of them is a company called SOS Children's Villages. So we're actually going to build a training rack into an orphanage, and we're going to help young students or young children with disadvantaged backgrounds. We're going to teach them basic plumbing skills as well as the grower products. And we're also going to look at some other schools in Ghana. Kumasi, I believe, is on the radar. I had a meeting today with some companies there to discuss what we could do.
And do you have plans for Ghana and, of course, Africa as a whole on this?
Absolutely. Africa is a huge market for us, Ghana particularly. We find that it's quite accepting here. There's innovation and change as well. So yeah, definitely we'll be looking also at Senegal and also Ivory Coast as well.
All right, so tell me, how different is this project from the normal plumbing training we've been having?
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, we provide a 6-metre training rack, which is quite a big piece of equipment. So it's quite an expensive item that we put into the schools for absolutely free. We give it to the schools. But the main part and the importance of the training rack is that it has fully functioning water. So when the installers or the students install something, if they don't do it correctly, then they get very wet. And that's a big learning curve for young students when they're learning about plumbing. Because if it soaks you, then it's no good.
All right, so tell me about the future plans for young people who want to, take advantage of this initiative.
Okay, so if you wanted to take advantage of this initiative in Accra, then you would have to enrol, as I said, on a plumbing course with ATTC. But we're also piloting across Europe at the moment a full careers advice service as well, which would teach CV writing or cover letter writing, interview techniques and skills. We would also look at business development skills as well with the students and potentially help them to start their own business, create a new life for themselves. And then on top of that, we're also looking at what we call the GIVE Programme University, which will be set up in Sweden.
Okay.
And we look to take some of the best students from around the Europe and Middle East and Northwest Africa markets where we've got schools, and we'll take them to Sweden for a week and we'll give them extra training, business school training as well, not just plumbing training.
All right, so really, when you come to Ghana, arguably, sanitation is what most of us don't pay attention to. How is GROW going to position itself to, change that narrative here in our part of the world?
I mean, as you've mentioned, it's a little bit different to maybe for me at home. So I think that's changing. I think buildings that you have here are becoming more modern. Plumbing is becoming a little bit more modern as well in what happens here. And I think the more the students can learn about how the plumbing systems work, how the taps work, how the shower systems work, faucets I think you say here as well, how they all work, then they'll be more equipped to maintain and install those products if they can find a job within one of those companies.
Any final word you want to add on this?
Thank you for having me. It's been great to be here. We do have a website if people want to have a look at. It's give.grower.com, so it's give.grower, which is GROHE.com.
All right. Thank you very much, Chris, for your time here on
Thank you.
Business Live. Chris Penny is leader of the GIVE initiative. You're still watching Business Live with me, Pious Kojo Backah, still to come up ahead on the Joy Business Van, the second part of our feature on Startup Jakarta, which recycles used grain bags into sustainable fashion products. Great out there. Let's talk other stories we have for you. The Ghana-India Trade Advisory Chamber has unveiled what it describes as Knowledge Bank project to shape and financially support students with business ideas to create more jobs opportunities for the youth. Well, this forms part of the Chamber's 5th anniversary celebrations. Chief Executive of the Chamber, Dominic Odru-Entry, said as part of its agenda for the year, the Chamber is focusing on empowering the youth to develop and create their own businesses. There is more in this report.
The Ghana-India Trade Advisory Chamber, as part of its 5th anniversary, is launching a Knowledge Bank initiative to support the youth with innovative business ideas. The initiative is to shape and financially support students with business ideas in all fields to create more opportunities. Speaking at a press conference, President of GITAC, Dominic Odru-Entry, encouraged the youth to bring on board their business ideas to enable them receive support for development.
Basically, they will enjoy from one of our programs called the Knowledge Bank, where we'll still allow youth to bring their concept and then bank with us. We'll buy it. We'll have 1 or 2 sponsors in. We're just waiting for the ideal concept. Then we will even employ the same person bringing the concept will be the managing director of that business. So the youth are going to benefit, especially for that Knowledge Bank. And also in agribusiness. Agribusiness, we're talking about the ladies or women in agri. That is that area that the youth also can benefit. The government cannot live without the private sector, and therefore private sector cannot live without the government, and therefore we need to find a common ground to operate, so we work together.
The initiative is expected to help address the unemployment situation in the country and aid economic growth and development.
Now, the University of Ghana Business School says its Innovation and Incubation Hub will facilitate and streamline technological innovation processes in creating small businesses. According to the Dean of the school, Professor Justice Bawile, this will foster entrepreneurship and small business development during the critical startup phase. He spoke to Joy Business at the launch of the University of Ghana Business School Innovation and Incubation Hub.
The Innovation and Incubation Hub, according to Professor Bawile, is to help young graduates acquire soft skills and help reduce unemployment in Ghana. Its role is to develop new growth opportunities for the incubator's parent company by enabling the development of small teams capable of operating in a more flexible and unbureaucratic environment, which will increase the pace of their action.
The situation out there is so unfriendly. So if you hope that you are going to finish school and walk into a business waiting for you as a job, you probably will be dreaming, rather dry. And so young people must immediately begin thinking about what they can do for themselves. The terrain is quite rough. And so when you urge young people to go out and do something for themselves, often it is so inundating. And they move out, people want to do something and they fail. A lot of businesses are established and in a year or two, they are folded up. And one of the key reasons is that people are not told exactly what it is like to run a business, especially within the African context. And so whilst we urge our students to go out there and make a contribution by establishing the business and not to wait until they can find a job, we are also putting our money where our mouths are, to say that this is what we're asking you to go there and do. But we want to capacitate you enough so that when you attempt doing it, you can succeed.
The University of Ghana Business School is calling on various industries to support this initiative to bridge the unemployment gap in the country.
Thanks so much for being part of the bulletin. I am Pious Kojo Backah. For more news, you can get business stories on myjoyonline.com/business. Do enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye-bye.